My lazy brother found out my salary. Instead of congratulating me, he dragged our parents over to demand their share, smiled, handed him an envelope, and what was inside left them all speechless. I had just kicked off my heels and collapsed onto the couch when the doorbell erupted. 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. I'm Mary Henderson. And that morning, I'd reread the promotion email for probably the 20th time. Senior Marketing Director. $280,000 a year. Finally, some breathing room after years of climbing the corporate ladder. Bam, bam, bam. The door rattled in its frame like someone was trying to break it down. Through the peephole, I saw my younger brother's fist hammering away like he owned the place. Mom stood beside him, that familiar voice calling out, "Mary honey, let us in." Dad lingered in the background, staring at the welcome mat like it held all the answers. My brother Kevin snarled through the door. "Living large in there all alone, huh? Time to share the wealth, sis." I knew this routine. The script never changed with them. I still had that old restraining order from 18 months ago, just in case things got ugly again. Without saying a word, I reached into my purse and pulled out a yellow envelope. My fingers found the door chain, and I cracked it open just enough for them to see inside. Their eyes locked onto the court stamp visible through the paper. Dead silence. The three of them stood frozen in my narrow apartment hallway, the motion sensor light flickering on above their heads. Kevin recovered first, shoving his shoulder against the doorframe. $35,000, Mary. Right now. His voice rose with each word. $15,000 for my gambling debts. Those loan sharks don't give extensions. The other $20,000 is for the down payment on that RV Dad's been drooling over at Summit Trailer Sales on Route 9. My father shuffled behind him, hands jammed deep in his jacket pockets. "It's our retirement dream," he muttered, still studying the ground. 30-footer with the slide-outs, the whole package. We could finally visit Yellowstone like we always planned. Mom squeezed between them, her voice dripping with artificial sweetness. "After everything we sacrificed raising you, sweetheart, the sleepless nights, the ballet lessons, those braces you needed, you owe us this, honey." Those words landed like punches to old bruises. 4 years ago, right after my college graduation, Kevin had broken into the safe in the garage of our old house in Riverside. $6,000 gone. Cash I'd saved from summer internships and weekend shifts at the campus bookstore. Mom had waved it off the next morning with a shrug. "He just borrowed it for rent money. Boys will be boys." I didn't respond to their demands. My thumb hovered over my phone screen. Emergency call already dialed. Finger ready. "The restraining order's still active," I said, keeping my voice flat and emotionless. "Take one more step and I hit send." Kevin snorted, his breath reeking of those cheap energy drinks he lived on. "A piece of paper doesn't scare me. You really think the cops care about family drama?" Mom's eyes narrowed behind that practiced smile. She lifted her phone, camera flash popping through the narrow gap in the doorway. "Say cheese, Mary. The whole family needs to see how you treat your own parents." Click, click, click. Her thumbs flew across the screen faster than I'd ever seen her move. Within seconds, my own phone buzzed in my pocket. Group chat notification. I didn't need to look at it to know what she'd posted. The preview showed everything, me in the doorway, face half in shadow, with a caption already spreading like wildfire, "Mary refuses to help Mom and Dad. Heartless daughter." Dad finally looked up, face flushed red. "We're not leaving empty-handed." Kevin kicked at the baseboard, paint chips scattering. "Glockstickin, sis." Those betting sites add interest every single day. I held my phone higher, the green glow of the redial button clearly visible. "Leave now or you can explain to the Chicago Police Department why you're violating a court order." Mom tucked her phone away, the smile vanishing from her face. "You'll regret this decision." She turned on her heel, designer shoes clicking down the shared walkway. Dad trailed behind her like a shadow. Kevin lingered the longest, knuckles white as he gripped the railing. "This isn't over," he said. The motion light timed out and darkness swallowed them whole. Old Mrs. Johnson from apartment 4C poked her head out, gray hair wrapped in curlers. "Everything all right over there, Mary?" Sounded like a damn street fight. I forced myself to nod. "Just family stuff. Thanks for checking, Mrs. Johnson." She disappeared back inside, and I slid the deadbolt home, the chain rattling into place. Leaning against the door, I listened to their footsteps fade toward the parking lot. 3 distinct patterns: Kevin's heavy stomp, Mom's sharp taps, Dad's reluctant drag. My pulse began to slow, but the knot in my stomach only tightened. 4 years since Kevin broke into that safe. 4 years since I'd moved out and sworn to keep my distance. They discovered my salary increase on LinkedIn, my public profile broadcasting my success to the world. Stupid mistake on my part. $35,000 wasn't pocket change. It represented the exact cushion I'd built for a down payment on a real house. My first actual home, not another rental with thin walls and neighbors who could hear every argument their chaos brought to my doorstep. I set my phone on the entry table, screen still showing the 911 call ready to go. The group chat kept exploding with notifications. Cousins I hadn't spoken to in years were piling on with angry face emojis under Mom's photo. Aunt Linda, so disappointing. Cousin Brandon, ungrateful much? I muted the entire conversation. The silence that followed felt heavier than all the shouting. Kevin's voice echoed in my head. Those sharks don't wait. He'd always been a gambler, starting with fantasy football in high school, escalating to offshore poker sites by his mid-20s. Mom enabled every single excuse he made. Dad just wanted that RV so he could escape the constant arguments, the overdue bills, the life they'd let crumble around them. I walked to the kitchen and poured a glass of water, my hands steady now. The apartment's quiet wrapped around me like a blanket. Hardwood floors cool under my bare feet. The faint scent of the lavender candle I'd lit that morning still lingering. My space. My rules. But that photo was out there now. The demand had gone public, and Kevin never bluffed when money was on the line. I set the glass down without taking a single sip. Tomorrow, people at the office would see the fallout. My colleague Nathan already followed half my family on social media. My boss Richard hated personal drama interfering with work. HR forms waited in my inbox like hidden landmines, ready to explode at the slightest provocation. They thought $35,000 would fix their mess. They were dead wrong. But they weren't finished with me yet. Monday morning arrived and my phone buzzed with a text from Grandpa William. The message made my stomach drop. Your mother sent me a photo. Says you won't help with money. Explain yourself, kiddo. William had always been my anchor. Dad's father, 81 years old, hands scarred from decades of working as a plumber in the old neighborhood. He'd let me hand him tools under sinks when I was just a kid. Taught me about pipe fittings before I understood basic geometry. When Mom grounded me for talking back, he'd sneak me out for milkshakes at Johnny Rockets. I dialed his number immediately. Mary, his voice came through gravelly from years of breathing in construction dust. Grandpa, she's twisting the whole story. Long pause. I could hear wind chimes clinking on his front porch through the phone. I'm staying out of family business. I set the phone face down on my desk. The group chat detonated with fresh notifications, stacking up like bricks building a wall around me. Mom's post topped the pile, my silhouette in the doorway, the chain lock glinting in the flash. New caption, daughter abandons parents facing foreclosure. Please send prayers. The reactions flooded in immediately. Cousin Sophia added a crying emoji. Uncle Paul commented, blood's thicker than bonuses. Kevin unleashed his next attack right on schedule. A video clip pinged my feed, showing me walking to my Honda at dawn, briefcase swinging over my shoulder. His voiceover dripped with venom. Big sister banks 6 figures while little brother sleeps on couches. Real classy move. Views spiked past 500 within an hour. Complete strangers piled on in the comments. Spoiled executive. Karma's coming for her. I flipped open my laptop at the breakfast bar, coffee mug steaming beside me, untouched. My work messaging app lit up immediately. Nathan, weird email just hit my inbox. Forwarding it to you now. Subject line, emergency. Mary Henderson denies aid to hospitalized father. Sender, random string of numbers and letters. Body text, father collapsed at home yesterday. Daughter Mary, fancy new director, refuses to help family. Please share widely. Attached was a grainy photo of a hospital wristband, clearly lifted from some stock photography website. I stepped back inside, pulse steady but hammering loud in my ears. Took more photos. Uploaded everything to a cloud folder I'd labeled evidence. By 8 o'clock, Mr. Peterson, the apartment complex manager who'd walked me through the lease agreement 20 months earlier, knocked on my door. He stood there, balding, clipboard in hand, surveying the damage with obvious concern. "Mary, this violates HOA Code Section 12D. You've got 30 days to repair this completely or the board votes on non-renewal of your lease." He handed over a violation notice stamped in bright red ink. I nodded. Understood completely. Police reports already filed. Security companies sending someone this afternoon. He glanced at the graffiti again. Sheriff's department's en route for fingerprint analysis. Bethany called while I brewed a fresh pot of coffee. They're pressuring you to settle outside of court. Classic scare tactics before mediation even starts. I poured myself a mug, steam fogging up my glasses. Those tuition receipts are completely laughable. My actual university transcripts show 0 parental contributions to anything. Perfect evidence. We'll counter with your complete bank records showing self-funding. Brief pause. Move anything sensitive documents to a safe deposit box today. Don't wait. I drove to First National Bank right after work ended. The vault area smelled of polished metal and old paper. Box 327. My name etched on the small brass plate. I slid in the original tuition statements, scholarship award letters, and the old police report from Riverside PD about Kevin breaking into our garage safe. Turned the key, added it to my keychain. Back home, I scrubbed at the spray paint with industrial strength remover from the hardware store. Red bled into pink, then faded to gray streaks across the white door. The screen door needed complete replacement. I ordered one online. Delivery scheduled for tomorrow morning. The HOA group text buzzed with updates. Vandalism incident update. Security cameras captured hooded figure at 5:55 a.m. No license plates visible. Neighbors started offering paint supplies, tools, casseroles. I accepted the paint, politely declined everything else. Bethany forwarded the plaintiff's evidence disclosure list that evening. Dad's RV sales brochure with prices circled in red marker. Mom's supposed emotional distress diary entries written in purple gel pen. Kevin listed as a witness despite the active restraining order against him. I printed everything, highlighted key sections, added detailed annotations in the margins. The $50,000 demand matched their GoFundMe goal exactly. No coincidence there. A sheriff's deputy stopped by at dusk, took my formal statement, dusted the sticky note for fingerprints. Prints are pretty smudged, but we'll run whatever we can recover through the system. Night fell completely. I installed a new ring spotlight with motion sensors. Tested it immediately. Harsh white beams swept across the entire front lawn, bright as daylight. Bethany's final text of the night, court hearing scheduled 3 weeks out. Stay alert and document everything. I locked the new deadbolt, pulled the chain extra tight. The apartment smelled of fresh paint and chemical solvent. My space under siege, but still mine for now. 1 week later, Bethany called during my lunch break. Her voice came through clipped and professional over the speakerphone. Emergency filing just came through. Your mother petitioned for an incapacity determination. She's claiming you're mentally unfit to manage your own affairs. Demands mandatory psychiatric evaluation. Judge granted it. Files started flooding in. 8 photos total. Casino receipts from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Dates overlapping exactly with my junior year at Northwestern. Transaction totals, $20,000. One selfie showed Mom at a blackjack table, chips stacked high in front of her, grinning wide for the camera. Jennifer added more context. She told everyone she was paying for your college. I found all these in her old email backup files she forgot about. I forwarded everything immediately to Bethany. This is absolute witness gold. I'll schedule remote video testimony. Jennifer is completely credible as a blood relative with no financial stake in this case. Bethany filed an emergency motion to admit Jennifer's evidence. Requested an expedited hearing date. The judge set it for Thursday the following week. I stared at that blackjack table photo for a long time. Mom's manicured hand placed confidently on the felt. Same exact semester I'd been working double shifts at the campus pub just to cover textbooks. Jennifer texted again late that night. I left home because of her constant lies. Sorry it took something this serious to reconnect. I wrote back, no apology necessary. You just delivered the ammunition we needed. Thursday morning arrived. Small Cook County courtroom, 6th floor. The room carried that distinctive smell of lemon furniture polish mixed with decades of old legal documents. Fluorescent tubes buzzed steadily overhead, casting harsh institutional lighting on everything below. 12 spectator seats sat mostly empty, except for Bethany and me at the defense table. Mom occupied the plaintiff's table wearing a slate gray cardigan, pearls clutched tight at her throat like armor. Dad hunched beside her in a flannel shirt, sleeves rolled up, eyes locked on the wood grain pattern of the table. Judge Harland entered, black robes swishing with each step. Mid-60s, salt and pepper beard trimmed military sharp. Matter of Henderson incapacity petition. Is the remote witness connection ready? The court technology specialist tapped keys rapidly. The wall-mounted monitor flickered to life. Jennifer appeared centered in the frame, her Portland apartment visible behind her. Bookshelves packed with novels lining the walls. Jennifer Henderson, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Bethany clicked her presentation remote. Exhibit A filled the entire projection screen. 8 MGM Grand Casino receipts, dates highlighted in fluorescent yellow. Miss Henderson, please walk the court through these specific charges and their significance. Jennifer's voice came through steady and clear. Our mother told Mary she'd covered junior year tuition expenses. These receipts total exactly $20,000 spent entirely at blackjack tables during those same 2 weeks. Chips and gambling, not textbooks and education. Mom's fingers twisted the cardigan hem nervously. Dad's shoulders curved further inward, making him seem smaller. Bethany advanced to the next slides. My personal bank statements. Green highlights marking every tuition transfer I'd made. Defense Exhibit B clearly demonstrates the defendant self-funded 100% of Northwestern University costs. 0 parental contributions of any kind. Judge Harland adjusted his reading glasses, pages rustling. Mrs. Henderson, your sworn statement specifically claims direct tuition payments to the university. Please explain this massive discrepancy to the court. Mom stood up quickly, voice immediately cracking with emotion. It was intended as a family contribution for later. The money was meant to her words tangled into incoherence. Dad nudged her elbow gently. She batted his hand away sharply. Bethany pressed forward without mercy. Your Honor, the plaintiff submitted 3 completely forged receipts as evidence. Comiques sans fond trop goût. No official university seals anywhere. We formally request immediate dismissal of this case and sanctions against plaintiffs for bad faith litigation. The opposing attorney rose awkwardly, tie sitting crooked on his collar. Your Honor, we maintain our claims of emotional distress caused by Judge Harland raised one palm, cutting him off mid-sentence. Emotional distress does not justify fabricating official documents and committing perjury. His gavel cracked sharply against the sound block. Petition denied in its entirety. He signed the order with bold strokes. Defendant is hereby awarded attorney fees in the amount of $18,000, payable by plaintiffs within 30 calendar days. Furthermore, I'm issuing a new protective order. David and Carol Henderson are prohibited from coming within 500 feet of Mary Henderson for a period of 5 years. Sheriff's Department will serve papers immediately. Mom's gasp sliced through the quiet courtroom. Dad's head dropped completely into his hands, shoulders shaking. All rise, the bailiff intoned loudly. Bethany gathered her folders efficiently. I clutched the certified court order copies, ink still wet on the official paper. In the hallway outside, Kevin loitered near the vending machines, hoodie pulled up, shadowing most of his face. 2 sheriff's deputies intercepted him before he could reach the main courtroom doors. Restraining order violation, sir. Keep your hands where we can see them. Kevin protested immediately, volume climbing. She's my sister. I have a right to. One deputy keyed his shoulder radio for backup. The other physically steered Kevin toward the exit stairwell, hand firm on his arm. His glare burned through the glass door panel as they disappeared down the concrete steps. Outside, afternoon sunlight hit the courthouse lawn. Oak trees dropped golden leaves in slow spirals through the crisp air. Bethany snapped her leather briefcase shut with finality. You defended yourself perfectly. The truth won today. I breathed deeply, lungs finally unclenching after months of constant tension. Victory stamped, sealed, delivered by the legal system. 8 months rolled past. I twisted the garden hose nozzle in my new backyard, water arcing gracefully over the young cherry tree I'd planted back in spring. Its roots were finally gripping firmly into Illinois soil. The house behind me gleamed with fresh cream-colored paint. No red spray paint streaks. No slashed screen doors. No threatening messages. My promotion to vice president had come through last quarter. $325,000 base salary, leading the entire Digital Innovation Committee. Boardroom strategy sessions replaced office hallway whispers and gossip. Kevin vanished from Chicago entirely. Last confirmed sighting came from a cousin's Facebook post tagging him at a cheap motel in Atlantic City, couch surfing with poker buddies between tournaments. No forwarding address existed. No phone calls came through. Mom and Dad liquidated that dream RV at a dealership in Aurora, selling the 30-footer for half its blue book value just to cover the $18,000 court sanction. They moved into the Sunset Lodge Motel off Highway 53, paying weekly rates. The neon vacancy sign flickered there permanently now, a far cry from their retirement dreams. A plain white envelope arrived mid-July. Grandpa William's shaky handwriting covered the front. Inside, a single sheet of paper, fountain pen ink. Granddaughter, I don't fully understand all the legal details, but I trust you did what was right. Stay strong always. William. No postscript, no return correspondence needed. He'd gone completely radio silent since the trial, processing everything in his own way. Jennifer mailed me a Christmas card every December now. Portland postmark. Simple hallmark design with generic holiday verse. Just her signature inside. No phone number included. No detailed life updates. I taped each card to my refrigerage beside work committee meeting agendas. Small reminders that some family bonds survived. The evening sunset painted my stucco walls brilliant gold. The hose spray caught the fading light, creating tiny rainbows in the mist. I coiled the green garden hose, hands streaked with honest dirt, feeling deeply satisfied with the simple work. The Innovation Committee launched our company's first major mobile app last month. 1.2 million downloads in the first week. Stock price jumped significantly. Richard raised his champagne glass at the celebration dinner, to Mary's vision and leadership. No family group chats exploded my phone anymore. No surprise doorbell knocks at 7 p.m. on Friday. No demands for money I'd earned through my own hard work. I controlled my own narrative now. My story written on my terms. Chosen routes, deliberate growth. The cherry tree would bear fruit in future seasons that I decided. Zero contact with toxic people. Complete peace at last. 1 year and 3 months after the courtroom victory, I stood in my home office reviewing quarterly financial reports when my personal phone buzzed. Unknown Chicago number. Usually I'd ignore these, but something made me answer. Mary Henderson speaking. Heavy breathing. Then, it's Dad. My hand tightened around the phone. Silence stretched between us like a canyon. The protective order expires in 3 years and 7 months, I said finally, keeping my voice neutral. You're violating it by calling. I know. His voice sounded older, worn down. I'm calling from a payphone outside the motel. Your mother doesn't know. More silence. I waited. I need you to understand something, he continued. That day we came to your apartment demanding money, I knew it was wrong. I've always known. But I was too weak to stand up to her. To Kevin. I've been weak your entire life. Why are you telling me this now? Because Kevin showed up here last week, kicked out of Atlantic City for unpaid debts. He's sleeping on our motel room floor, and the cycle's starting all over again. Your mother's already talking about family obligations and Mary's big salary. I can't do this anymore. I walked to my window, looking out at the cherry tree, now standing taller, stronger. What do you want from me, Dad? Nothing. His voice cracked. Absolutely nothing. I'm calling to tell you I'm leaving. Filed for divorce yesterday. Moving to Florida to live near my sister Clara. Starting completely over at 74 years old. Better late than never, right? A bitter laugh escaped me. And Mom? She'll figure it out or she won't. That's not my problem anymore. And it sure as hell isn't yours. I signed away any claim to your assets, your income, everything. It's all in the divorce paperwork with my lawyer. You're free, Mary. Completely free. Tears surprised me, sliding hot down my cheeks. You could have done this 30 years ago. I know. God help me, I know. I don't expect forgiveness. I'm trying to do one right thing before I die. Let you know that you were right about all of it. The restraining order's still valid. I won't contact you again. This call never happened. Live your life, sweetheart. Be happy. That's all I ever should have wanted for you. The line went dead. I stood there holding the silent phone, watching the sunset paint everything gold through my window. The cherry tree swayed gently in the evening breeze. My father's words didn't erase the past, didn't heal the old wounds, didn't make the trauma disappear like morning fog, but they confirmed what I'd known deep down all along. I made the right choice. Every single boundary I set, every door I closed, every relationship I walked away from, all of it was right. Some families are built through blood. Others are chosen, carefully constructed from people who actually show up, who celebrate your success instead of demanding payment for it, who see your worth beyond your paycheck. I'd built the second kind, and it was enough. More than enough. I returned to my desk, pulled up my email, and sent a message to Jennifer, coffee in Portland next month? My treat. Let's talk about something other than the past. Her reply came back in under 5 minutes. I'd love that. See you soon, little sister. I smiled, saved the email, and went back to my financial reports. The cherry tree would bloom next spring. I'd already made plans to harvest the fruit, bake my first homemade pie, maybe invite some real friends over to share it. The family I was born into taught me what love wasn't. The life I built myself showed me what it could be. And that made all the difference. 0 contact. 0 regrets. Just peace, finally earned and fiercely protected.